Hey guys, Harold Osmer, Automotive Book Reviews. Today we have Indy500 Memories, an oral history of the greatest spectacle in racing. It's about the Indy500, in case you couldn't figure that out. Art Garner and Mike Spiegel. Now, Art and Marc did not write this book. What they did was they called and wrote to a bunch of people who've been involved with the Indy500 for a number of years, asked them to write down their biggest moments from the Indy500, the biggest thing that they remember from the Indy500. Now they talked to fans, certain fans, and they talked to a lot of drivers, team owners, officials, all of this kind of thing, and asked them what their favorite memory was. Early in the book, you get a lot of discussion about guys lamenting the loss of the more fun era of Indy, where it was a little more dynamic, where the cars were different, the drivers were different, this kind of thing. Today, everybody pretty much runs the same equipment, the drivers are a little bit similar, this kind of thing. So they lament that a little bit, but you get past that. It's still the greatest spectacle in racing. Now when you go to the Indy500, and I went this year for my first time ever, and my experience at the race was different from your experience. And when there's 350,000 people there, that's the only way something like this can happen. So a book like this works really well because you have individuals telling their favorite parts about, or their favorite memories about the Indy500. Now everybody's limited to between 500 and 700 words, which means you get about a page to a page and a half from each one of these guys. And they cover a wide spectrum. And even though you get a little bit of reporting on the same events and the same things that happened, it's from a totally different perspective, which is really the best way to cover something like this that's been going on for 100 years. Well, more than 100 years, you know the story. They had to close down for the war and all that sort of stuff. It was the 100th running this year. I think this is the best way to go about doing this, and it's presenting the Indy500 this way. There's no stats, there's no drama like that, no blow-by-blow account or lap-by-lap account, as it were. But it works out really well. And since it's broken down by individual things from a page to a page and a half, you can read a couple of them, put the book down, come back to it later, or you can just keep going with it. It works out really well in this format. It's the Indy500 Memories, an oral history of the greatest spectacle in racing, compiled by Art Garner and Marc Spiegel. You can get it from our buddies over at Coastal 181. It's Harold Osmer, Automotive Book Reviews.